All right, it's time to catch up with Kathy, our local horticulturist. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Thurston. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. Getting ready for spring.
Well, it's spring, but you wouldn't think so looking outside, but spring is a bit of a strange season for lots of mismatching of weather.
I know. We live in Melbourne after all.
Yes, and they're saying that the following weekend is going to get 27 or something.
Really?
Like that.
Really?
Yeah, the end of the week. I'll be driving to Sydney on Thursday, so hopefully it's going to be nice up there and not just nice down here.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good.
We've had some strange cold weather. I think they said that it was going to snow down low levels. I got fairly cold the other day.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a extreme from one thing to another.
A bit of havoc for the poor garden, not knowing what's going on. It does go by the temperature and the sunlight rather than the calendar. So everyone's ready to jump in and put all their tomatoes and cucumbers in, but it's still slightly a bit cold.
Yeah. So is it the right time for doing that now?
Well, it's time to make sure that your garden's beds are all ready, and a lot of the veggies can go in. I've been planting lots of seeds at the moment to see how much success I have with that. It is a lot cheaper way to do it. You do get a lot more than buying the little punnets of seedlings. But if you only need a few plants, then the punnets are good because you usually get about 6 or something like that in there. But I've been growing some flowers and also veggies. Still a bit too early to grow the cucumbers, I think. But the rest have a go at. They've even planted some tomato seeds in containers, but they're small, in the little, the ones made of the paper fibre.
Oh, yeah.
That you can plant straight out into the garden once they've got big enough. And I've got them in a little makeshift hothouse, a plastic container with a lid on it, make it a bit more warmer in there.
From frost,
so,
yep.
Yeah. So all of my, I've sown some bean seeds and some pea seeds and I've tried basil seeds. I know that's early, but I've put that in another one of the little containers with lids to, as I said, make a little hothouse for them. Coriander, lettuce, pretty much most things that you want to plant for your spring garden and the veggies you can plant now. Even, as I said, put some tomatoes in the seeds, but I'll keep them sheltered till it's warm enough in the bed. And I've done lots of flower seeds too, right. Even some dahlia flower seeds. So it'll be interesting to see how long they take to flower.
Yeah, so are they bulbs or are they...
Once they get bigger, they're tubers that are under the ground that stay around for like years and years. But I've growing them from seed this time. I bought some cactus dahlia seeds, which they're the big-headed dahlias. So they'll eventually become a tuber, but at the moment it's just growing them from seed. So, yeah, we'll see what colours the flowers come up. And I think that's why they sell them as mixed, because when they're done from seed, it can be a mix of colours depending on what else has been around too. So, yeah, they'll be interesting. And even I've sown my poppy seeds a bit late this year, but they're still coming up.
Oh, you've got poppy seeds as well?
Yeah, so I'm trying a whole lot of different things to get lots of flowers in the garden.
Right. Can you eat those ones? Are they like the ones you put on cakes?
Eventually, once the flowers set their seed, that's where it's like coriander seed.
Oh, yeah.
That when you let your coriander go to seed, that's the seed that you're eating when you have the coriander seed heads rather than the leafy green of the coriander.
Yeah.
But yeah, even silver beet, it's a good time now for that too. So you will get a lot more than you know what to do with, but you give around to friends and get them to plant some in their garden as well.
Yeah, that's right. Once you get started, there's always too much.
Yeah, there's some of the seed packets, they say 500 seeds. So
wow.
I haven't planted all of them. You start off in batches so my beans, I've planted probably 24 beans, and then in a few more weeks I'll plant some more by the time these ones have gone out into the garden. But beans you can plant straight into the garden bed too. I was just putting mine in the little pods first to give them a bit of time, and I haven't got my garden beds completely ready yet for the planting. But they're poking up their heads too.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, I was going to ask you a little bit about fruit trees. We've got a grapefruit tree, and normally from about May to June onwards, we'd have fruit coming off the tree every week, but we've only had maybe 5 grapefruits for the whole year, and there's lots of like buds on the tree, but they don't seem to be making into grapefruits. Have you got any idea?
Sometimes if you have a really big crop the year before, the tree can sort of like naturally go to less fruit to try to sustain itself. So sometimes that can happen. And also, too, if the tree is under 7 years old, it takes a good 7 years to really get into its fruiting pattern. But, yeah, depending on what you've fed it with, you might need to give it some more potash.
All right, okay.
As well as just, some people will just give it fertiliser that's got more nitrogen in it, which will produce more leafy growth to the tips. And not enough fruit set. And also, too, the old weather component can have something to do with that, too. If it has been, too cold, or which it has been a bit cold, or too, as I was saying, rainy before, that can have some effect on the fruiting as well.
Right.
The bees don't like to come out when it's too wet and cold or windy, so it can be like a pollination, too.
All right, yep. And I've got a mulberry bush, and they've got little fruits on them now. But I'm just wondering if they'll come all the way.
If it's a fruiting mulberry and not just a weeping ornamental one, the fruit should continue on,
right,
as long as we don't get hail to knock it all off, or heavy rains. That fruit, once it's got to the little fruit, should have set by now, so that it will continue to grow.
Oh, great.
And you get some beautiful mulberries off it.
Yeah, they're a beautiful tasting fruit.
Oh, they're so sweet and tasty.
Yeah, they are. They're lovely. And I noticed the buds on the vines are coming up now too as well. This just started this week.
Yeah, I noticed that even on my ornamental grapevines that the leaf buds are coming out. And it said we were at a winery yesterday. Didn't go down to the Diamond Creek Fair, but we were out at Coldstream. And, all the vineyards are getting the little green buds shooting through everywhere. It looks beautiful this time of year.
Yeah, it's just starting. Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've met someone yesterday. She makes fruit wine, so out of all different types of fruit, so rather than just the grapes.
All right. So what, like figs and...
more like a mango.
All right, yeah.
Raspberries.
Wow.
We were talking about... I might try and make some plum wine. We're going back to talking about all the old ones that people used to make, even dandelion wine.
Yes, so my dad used to make that.
Yeah, which apparently just takes a long time because you only use the flower petals in that.
Yeah.
So, sort of it's inspiring. I might try to do that once I get a glut of fruit when you find that it's very, very cheap at the shops. But she buys frozen mangoes and says that's quite easy to make the wine from that. So I thought that was an interesting thing I haven't tried before.
Yeah, it's all about temperature and keeping it in the dark and not getting air to it. That's the key point.
So, but hopefully this sort of like the weather improves outside. It gets everyone out in the garden again and makes you want to do all different types of things.
Exactly. Well, if you're going to get 27 degrees next weekend, that's going to be...
Well, yeah, I think it was either Friday or on the weekend, but yeah, that's what they were saying on the news the other day. So we know that the temperature can change from what they predict to actually when the time comes closer.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be on the improve, I think, from Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. No, that sounds good. Excellent. Oh, well, Kathy, thanks very much for joining us today and for giving us an insight into what we should be doing in the garden.
Yes, I hope everyone starts to work out how to get a bumper crop of fruit and veggies this year. Yep,
exactly. Yep. You have a good week and a good month, and we'll catch up with you in October.
You too.
Yep.
Yes.
Cheers, mate.
Next time will be just before my daughter's wedding. So.
Oh, yes. Exciting time.
Yes. All right. Bye-bye, Seth.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.
There you go. That was Kathy from Mitre 10.